Morning. Or at least it is in the UK. Let's say good morning. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep. So maybe I'm on Central Time, 9 p.m. Central Time. We'll go with that. Um, I've been struggling with brain weasels. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a tricky week. Very noisy head, and it all started with what was a amazing getaway. I went away overnight. It was a belated birthday present. I went with a wonderful person who I love. I love spending time with. And we went to a spa and we stayed in a hotel and we had good food and we laughed and we shared and we played cards and it was wonderful. The only problem is, the only downside with spending time with this person is we always end up talking about a mutual person. Now, anyone who knows me, it is not you. It is not you that I'm talking about. It is no one that is alive. It's no one that is with us at the moment. So please don't think it's you. If you're anything like me, that always makes you a bit paranoid, doesn't it? It does for me anyway. This person who is no longer with us is a mutual acquaintance, and I always had a very tricky relationship with this person anyway, and I knew that they were saying things that weren't true. I didn't know the extent of that until after they passed away. Well, we knew some things. My spa buddy and I had kind of compared stories a couple of times, and we knew that there was more to it, and we had got to a place where we could talk about it. But after this person passed away, my spa buddy and I started comparing more stories, and then other people got involved and started comparing stories, and we saw the extent of this web of manipulation and control through lies, through lying about people, driving wedges so that this person could be the central contact for everyone and control contact between all of these parties. And it's something I've always struggled with, even before everything else came out. I've always had empathy and compassion for them because they'd been through a lot in their life. But that doesn't give you an excuse. That isn't a good enough reason to manipulate other people. So, was this person suffering some kind of mental health issue? Is that the entire reason? Did they know they were lying? Did they believe what they were saying? And these conversations go round in circles. There's no way of knowing truly. And I've come to the decision that this person, for the most part, knew exactly what they were doing, partly because of the last few things they said to me. And these lies suited their purpose. They wanted to drive wedges. They wanted control. And they wanted to be the centre of attention. These lies made them look good. And it made them feel good for a short period of time. It's sad though, because those lies, regardless of the motives, have consequences on more than the person you are lying about. That lie may have been designed to punish me or someone else, but it affects everyone that hears that lie. It changes everyone's relationship with each other. In my case, it changed my relationship with two people I adore for over 2 decades. It is only now that we have that relationship back. It affected my relationship with other people who are no longer with us and people that are now the other side of the world. You don't get that back. They don't get that back. It affected their lives. as much as it affected mine. And that's the sad and devastating part of people who lie for their own gain, or lie about people for their own gain, is they don't think about the consequences outside of them getting what they need and punishing someone else. They just don't think beyond that. And these lies ripple out. There's a Terry Pratchett quote that a lie can spread around the world before the truth has got its boots on. And it's true. Because, this person lied and told a third party who doesn't know me. So when I met that third party, they were very cold and made some difficult comments. And I had no idea why. That person thinks one way about me. They don't know me. So it spreads out. And that is so damaging for everyone involved. And they always get found out. Whether that's during your life or afterwards. And it's almost worse for the people around you, at least, to find out that you were that kind of person after you've passed away. It completely changes every memory they have, every story you told, every anecdote, or, even funny stories. It changes everything, and you question whether anything they said was true. If they were willing to lie about these things, were they willing to lie about everything? And for most of these people, they're scared of people knowing the true them. They want people to know the true them, but they're scared of that vulnerability, I suppose. And those lies drive wedges that the people lying don't realise they're doing. They're doing damage to themselves and their own relationships with people. And it's really sad. It's really, really sad. In the case that I was talking to my spa buddy about, it was, there was no need for it. None of us can work out why. Because it made their lives just as miserable as it made everyone else. Other than instant attention or instant victimhood, this idea that they were the victim in a situation, and that makes them special, that makes them, more likable somehow. I don't know. But it really does show that this person was so unwilling to work on themselves because they knew if they looked too closely, they wouldn't like what they saw. So they took it out on other people. They lied about other people through jealousy or control or manipulation, or all three. And it is just no way to live. Keeping track of all of that must have been exhausting. And like I say, most of what they said, they absolutely knew was not true. But it fit a narrative. It fit what they already wanted to think. And they were looking for ways to back up and excuse what they already thought. And that's really sad. I feel terrible for that person. I feel terrible for everyone involved. The people that were lied to, because they lost out on relationships that could have been really comforting and fruitful and fun and, I feel sorry for the people that were lied about, including myself, because they were blameless. You know, very, very sad. And it makes me wonder if there is an ideal way to deal with this kind of situation. I backed away. I usually do. I usually go quiet and step away because I don't want to involve other people. If I'd gone to any number of these people and said, hey, this person is lying about me, I've been told they're saying X, Y, and Z, or I have a feeling they're saying X, Y, and Z, I could come across as involving other people or trying to stir up drama, trying to cause a wedge. And I don't want people to think that about me because that's not what I'm doing. And I don't want to put other people in an awkward situation. You know, because it is an awkward situation. But I spent 20 years of my life being pushed away. And other people spent 20 years of their life pushing me away through someone else's actions. It had a big effect on a large circle of people. So is there an ideal way of confronting this and dealing with this as the individual that is being lied about? And I'm not sure there is. Because if you hop up and down and say, hey, this isn't true, really loudly, then people are going to, protesting too much, kind of, she's being a drama llama. I don't know. Because I do know that stepping away and just leaving that person to it didn't help. But I don't think confronting them or talking to the other people involved because of who those people were would have helped. I just don't know. And I'm driving myself. This is a paradox. And I am driving myself wild over it. And it all comes down to not understanding the full motive of the person who did it. Because it's so outside of the realm of my thinking. Don't get me wrong. I've told lies. I have never told lies to destroy someone's life. To drive wedges. Never. I've told lies like, no, I didn't draw that stick figure on the bathroom wall, or whatever it might be. But we've all done that. We all tell white lies as well to save someone, getting hurt or whatever else. I'm not talking about those. And I'm not talking about recounting stories where you have a bias, because we're all biased. We all see things from our own view. And when we recount memories, we're not recounting the original incident. We're recounting the memory of the incident. And then next time we'll recount this memory of the incident. We rebuild the memory every time we say it. So there's parts of it that may alter over a period of time, but it's small details. It's things like using slightly different words. It's not massive changes in the story, and there are some of these things that are burned into my memory, absolutely burned into my memory, and have never changed because it's such a traumatic event to find out that someone has lied about a thing. Anyway, slight tangent. So if you have any wise words, a lived experience of how to deal with this stuff and how you've dealt with it, if you want to share, put it in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe and the bell button, because that means you'll get notifications, and YouTube uses an algorithm that the more likes and comments and shares and bell notifications and subscriptions and that kind of thing, the more people will get shown it on their homepage as a recommended video. So please do that. It's not about ego, although I do like to see bigger numbers. At the moment, I have 13 subscribers. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. I would like to get to 15. That's my goal. 2 more, just 2. Small jumps. That's all I'm after. Anyway, back to this. So my advice, my lived experience has taught me that we need to be vigilant. When someone comes to you and says, so-and-so did or said X, this undesirable thing, treat it like you would an investigation. Okay, right now, I'm going to believe you, but I'm also going to look for evidence. I want the receipts to back this up. So ask questions about that story. Where were you? What time of day was this? Who were you talking to? How did you find out? You know, what led to this conversation where you got this information? Get the details. If you get responses that have a lot of wording, lots and lots of words, but no real substance, be wary. People who lie will often focus on minor details, stuff that pads out a conversation, but they'll repeat what they've already said. They won't add much to it. They will also use anything you say in return to back them up. So when they tell the next person, they'll say, oh, and I told so-and-so, and this is what they said. So don't say anything committal. Wait. Just wait. Because if that person is going from group to group to group, person to person, telling their story, that's another something to be wary about. Look for the quiet person in the situation. Look for the person who has stepped back. Look for the person who only says things when they are confronted. When someone says to them, but I heard you said blah, blah. If they then get upset and kind of bite back, they're being reactionary. They are upset about this accusation. Think about that. Think about their reaction. Ask them the same questions about the situation that is being discussed. Where were you? What time of day was it? Who were you talking to? How did this information come about? Ask them the same questions. If in doubt, go to the person who's being lied about or being spoken about. Go to them and ask. Because, you know, and say to them, hey, I just want to know what the truth is. Best case or worst case scenario, is you split the difference. You read between the lines and you go, okay, this was a misunderstanding between A and B, and this is what happened. And you don't have to pick sides and you don't have to be involved. Best case scenario, you're going to work out that someone is being malicious for some reason, and you're going to be able to get rid of a toxic person or confront a toxic person depending on where you're at and what it's all about. But be strong and ask those questions. Be analytical, because otherwise, anyone who lies for their personal gain, they're going to get away with it. And these lies are going to get more and more audacious. People who lie and get away with it get a really big dopamine hit. They get a bunch of happy chemicals and adrenaline because they got away with it. It's risky. They are looking for that next high, happy chemical high. And their lies are going to get bigger and bigger, and they're going to be about different people. If you cross them, they're going to start lying about you. So please be analytical, look for the receipts, look for the evidence, and see where it takes you. If someone asks you to pick sides or says, "You believe me, don't you?" be wary. I would say, in my lived experience, I don't have stats on this, but in my lived experience, 80 to 90% of the time, the person who is being bullied in these situations isn't going to ask you to be on their side. They aren't going to ask you to pick sides. They aren't going to involve you. They're probably not going to speak about it. They're going to step away from the person or the group the person is in, the friendship group, so that they aren't choosing sides. They're going to punish themselves by removing that part of their lives, whether that's a hobby or a craft or a social activity or whatever. They're going to remove themselves from it because it's painful and they don't know how to deal with it. And that's my 2 cents. If you have anything else to add, please, please, please add it to the comments. The more comments, the better. Get interactive with this. I want this to be a strong conversation with all of us involved. So please, please, please do. If you have any feedback or you want to share your story anonymously, you can email craftalytical@gmail.com. No abuse. Please don't use that as a chance to be nasty. Constructive feedback, always, always welcome. But please be respectful of each other and me, and we'll all get along nice. Anyway, I have been Andy of Craftalytical. I am not a qualified expert in therapy yet. I do have plenty of lived experience with mental and physical health though, and this is a place to explore all sorts of topics and find people who know more than me through their lived experience and their education, to find ways to ground ourselves, find reason in other people's behaviour as well as our own, and hopefully get a healthy dose of the happy chemicals for ourselves along the way. Today has been all about lies and liars. And what is that all about? I will get back to interviews. Most of the people that I have lined up to interview are going through house moves or holidays or have kids at home over the school holidays, but I will get back to those soon. Otherwise, I will be back on Monday evening my time, about 8 p.m, which makes it 2 p.m. Central Time, or like 7 a.m. in Korea, something like that, South Korea. To do a Monday moan. I want to get into a more regular schedule. I'm trying, I really am. So Mondays will be reserved for Monday moan. It'll be alive. Come join in, share with us in the live chat your moan for Monday, because Mondays are awful. And we all need to get it off our chest. Tell us about what went wrong over the weekend, or, what Monday has meant to you. Share good news too. Don't get me wrong, share good news too. But come to a place where you will be accepted, no judgment, lots of compassion and empathy, and maybe we'll have a laugh along the way. So that's Monday the 8th. We'll be getting into our Monday moan.